A child sits on the floor, slowly bringing both hands together as if closing a small, unseen door, pausing halfway before gently finishing the motion, then glancing back while the mother remains still in the distance. The mother steps closer and kneels, her hand moving forward and stopping just short of the child's shoulder. As the child notices and quietly shifts away, fingers tightening together while their gaze drops, the child repeats the motion again, this time quicker and more firmly, pressing both palms forward, then holding them there for a moment before slowly lowering them into their lap, body becoming very still. The mother lowers her hand to the floor instead, staying present without reaching further, while the child briefly looks toward her, hesitates, then turns away again, shoulders gently folding inward. The child draws small shapes on the floor with a finger, pausing often, glancing toward the mother without turning fully, then erasing the shapes slowly with the palm. The mother sits beside, but not too close, placing her hands calmly on her knees, breathing slowly, while the child continues tracing faint lines that stop and restart unevenly. The child suddenly stops drawing and presses both hands flat on the ground, leaning forward slightly, then pulling back as if reconsidering, eyes avoiding any direct connection. The mother gently tilts her head, observing without reaction, while the child shifts position again, turning slightly away. Curling one leg closer to the body, the child brings hands together once more, slower this time, leaving a small gap before closing, pausing longer than before, then completing the motion with visible hesitation. The mother softly mirrors the child's pace by placing her hand down slowly on the floor, not copying the action but matching the rhythm of movement. The child glances, again, this time holding the look slightly longer, then quickly looking away, shoulders lifting slightly before settling down. The child shifts backward a small distance, placing both hands behind for support, then pulling knees closer, forming a more closed posture. The child begins tapping fingers lightly against the floor in uneven rhythm, stopping abruptly, then restarting with slightly faster motion. The mother remains still, breathing steady, her gaze soft and unfocused, not demanding attention, while the child's tapping becomes more irregular. The child suddenly presses both hands forward again, as if closing a larger unseen space, holding the position longer before slowly releasing tension. The child's breathing becomes slightly more visible, shoulders rising and falling unevenly, then gradually slowing as they sit motionless. The child leans slightly to one side, lifting one hand and hovering it mid-air, then placing it down again with uncertainty. The child abruptly repeats the closing motion multiple times in quick succession, each one smaller and tighter, then freezing suddenly. The mother gently lowers her gaze and shifts her hand slightly closer on the floor, maintaining distance but reducing the space subtly. The child looks toward the mother again, holding the gaze briefly before lowering their head, hands resting still, fingers slightly curled inward. The child slowly lifts one hand again, hesitating midway as if unsure, then gently places it back down, avoiding any sudden movement. The mother shifts slightly closer, stopping carefully, while the child begins to turn away, but pauses midway, holding the position instead of fully withdrawing.
Peaceful?
Yes, it is.
The child
very calm
presses
and
palms
beautiful.
together again,
Can we go
but
see
this
it?
time unevenly.
Of course, we will go soon.
One hand lagging behind, then correcting the motion with a small adjustment. The mother lowers her head slightly, matching the slower rhythm, remaining quiet and steady as the child's movements continue to fluctuate. The child begins tracing a small, circular shape on the floor, repeating it several times before gradually shrinking the motion until it stops. The child pauses completely, body still, then lightly presses fingertips into the ground. As if testing the space, the child's body lifts slightly and lingers longer this time, wavering gently before lowering halfway, then rising again briefly. Before settling down slowly, the mother remains grounded, placing both hands evenly on the floor, her stillness contrasting the child's brief instability. The child looks down at their hands, opening and closing fingers slowly, then resting them flat again. The child leans forward slightly, as if about to move closer, but stops midway and gently leans back again. The child remains still at first, then slowly uncurls fingers one by one, breathing evening out as subtle movement returns to the hands. The mother subtly adjusts her posture to sit more comfortably, maintaining the same calm presence without initiating contact. The child brings hands together once more, but slower than before, leaving a larger pause before completing the motion. The child stops midway, holding the position longer than any previous attempt, then gently lowers hands without finishing. The mother softly shifts her hand closer again, then pauses, keeping the movement minimal and non-intrusive. The child glances toward the mother, holding the gaze longer this time, then slowly blinking before looking down again. The child places both hands on the ground and leans forward slightly, maintaining the position without retreating immediately. The child's shoulders relax a little, tension visibly decreasing as the body remains steady. The mother gently mirrors the grounded posture, reinforcing stability without moving closer. The child keeps both hands still, pausing in a longer moment of quiet, no longer repeating the closing motion. The child slowly shifts weight forward, hands pressing gently into the ground, mouth maintaining balance without retreating or closing inward again. The mother remains still, her posture unchanged, offering quiet presence as the child sustains the forward position. The child lifts one hand slightly, hesitates, then places it down closer than before, reducing the space between them. The child pauses, watching the ground between them, breathing steady, no longer withdrawing from the shared space. The mother gently shifts one hand a small distance forward, stopping early, maintaining a respectful gap. The child notices the movement and remains still, not retreating, holding position with quiet attention. The child slowly extends one hand forward, stopping midway, then continuing slightly closer than any previous attempt. The child pauses again, hand hovering briefly before resting it on the ground, leaving a smaller space between them. The mother lowers her gaze softly, maintaining calm stillness, allowing the child to control the pace of approach. The child gently shifts both hands forward together, not closing anything this time, simply resting them closer. The child pauses in this new position, breathing evenly, body no longer tightening or pulling inward. The mother remains grounded, her stillness steady and unchanged, reinforcing safety through consistency. The child glances toward the mother again, holding the gaze longer, then lowering eyes slowly without tension. The child shifts slightly closer, reducing the distance by a small amount, maintaining calm and controlled movement. The mother gently places her hand flat between them, not reaching forward, simply sharing the space. The child looks at the mother's hand, then slowly places one hand nearby, not touching, but no longer pulling away. The child pauses in this position, holding still, breathing steady. The space between them now minimal. The mother remains still, allowing the moment to settle, without initiating contact or change. The child slowly relaxes shoulders further, posture opening slightly, no longer guarding the body. The child keeps both hands grounded, remaining present in the shared space. With no return to earlier motions, the child slowly lifts one hand, pauses briefly, then gently places it slightly closer to the mother's hand without touching. The child holds still, watching the small space between their hand and the mother's. Breathing calm and even, the child inches the hand forward again, hesitates midway, then softly rests it on the floor just beside the mother's hand. The mother remains completely still, allowing the closeness without reacting. Maintaining steady presence, the child glances upward briefly, then lowers gaze again, keeping the hand without retreat. The child slowly relaxes both shoulders. Posture more open, no longer curling inward. The child gently shifts the second hand forward, placing it closer than before, maintaining calm stillness. Both remain still in shared space. Then the child makes a small shift closer, reducing the gap slightly before becoming still again. The child briefly looks toward the mother again, holding the gaze without pulling away. The child slowly places one hand lightly over the edge of the mother's hand, a soft, tentative contact. The child keeps the hand there, breathing steady, no sudden movement, maintaining the connection. Both remain still together, hands resting, posture calm and balanced, the space between them fully at ease.